You'd think something this old would have been completely explored by now. That was the thought swirling around in Jake's mind as he spent yet another night in his darkened room, with the sound of clicking coming from his game controller in the background. The only illumination in the room came from the bright television screen. That one-off game had been Jake's passion for years, maybe decades at this point. Since he was in school, he sunk as much time as he could into it. Jake was a successful young man. School quickly turned into a career for him, but a strange personal hobby of his had never changed. This old game had a way of capturing your attention, since despite its age and low polygon count, you could tell that there was soul behind the project. The game consisted of an incredibly large sandbox map, which offered what seemed like endless freedom and exploration. Jake loved finding little Easter eggs that were hidden by the game's creators, often in secret areas of the map, like the plushie that he found the other week, a unique model and texture used nowhere else in the game, so it seemed. It was sitting in a dresser by a cradle in an abandoned house by the countryside. Clearing the area from enemies was easy, since only a few automatically generated creatures spawned there. They were humanoid beings that were the only inhabitants of this post-apocalyptic world, and for that reason, the player had the advantage of terrain on their side. After dispatching the opposition with his rifle, Jake found that plushie, immediately taking a picture of the screen with his camera and moving the picture to his computer via the memory card. It took him a few minutes to upload it to the gaming blog that he often visited. Having to manually refresh the page, he decided to get himself a warm cup of tea. By the time Jake got back to the computer and hit the F5 key, a reply had already appeared. "Great job, Jake 37. By the way, what's that hatch by the floor?" The what now, he thought? Sure enough, upon further investigation of the picture that Jake had taken, a hatch could be seen on the floor, somewhat hidden under a rug. It didn't have a blurred outline like that of a background, rather. It looked clear and defined like an interactable. Jake had to see this for himself. Booting up his game as fast as he could, he took a seat on his favorite spot on the floor, placing the steaming cup by his side. As it loaded, a splash screen reminded him that some objects can be moved by pressing the interaction key. The game loaded. Jake found himself in front of the plushie, where he had saved. The plushie had a shirt with some low-resolution numbers written on it, but he paid no mind to it. As Jake turned around, there it was, that weird hatch peeking from under the rug. He tried what the loading screen had suggested, a trick only used on hidden walls throughout the game, but unexpectedly, the rug got lifted and placed aside, and a scripted animation revealing a keypad on the hatch. The numbers on the plushie. Turning around to the toy, Jake aimed his gun at the stuffed animal, that being the only way to zoom in on the bloated numbers made of wide pixels. The sequence was 1991. He hesitantly typed the numbers into the keypad, hearing loud bleeps after each one of the digits, a sound bite that was oddly used nowhere else in the game. He pressed enter and it opened. Posting everything online caused a firestorm of comments, more than 24 or so, all asking where he'd found everything and claimed that they had to see it for themselves. Yet the game had no quick travel option, and it was going to take some time for anybody to reach the spot, so Jake had a temporal advantage. He smiled, so everyone encouraged him to push deeper. He went back to his seat on the floor by his console. Inside and under a metal ladder, a thermonuclear bunker was represented by yellowish-white walls, shelves full of rations, and many crates containing clutter. There were posters by the walls with war propaganda, mentioning the USSR, which was the in-game made-up faction of enemies that had condemned the world to be a barren wasteland. Most strikingly, Jake noticed a large painting of an unknown woman staring at him from the furthest wall. The painting looked real, like a real photograph that had been scaled down to fit the game's coding. It was extremely unsettling and out of place in the context of the game. The picture of her that Jake took received many puzzled replies online. Some users even accused Jake of fabricating his entire discovery. The few that believed him, however, couldn't find any match for the woman whatsoever and asked him to press the activate key on it, even without an indication to do so. Indeed, no prompt pushed him to hit a key, but Jake tried it anyway, and a message appeared. "To my dear wife Cassandra, may someone on the other side remember you." The quote seemed bizarre and out of place for the game. A message to the developer's deceased wife, perhaps? What does it mean by the other side? By that point, the forum had gone insane. The site's moderators tried to contain the discussion. They encouraged users to not write half-baked replies and asked them to refrain from clogging the servers with their many requests. Many were confused. Many seemed ecstatic. Others just asked him to keep digging and wanted Jake to click the activation key on everything in the room. He tried it, and soon enough a chilling document appeared on the screen, one that was previously sitting on a low-resolution shelf and would have been overlooked at any point in the game. It read as such: November 1991. Food has been scarce, and the kids keep complaining that they're hungry. Without Cassie, rationing has been difficult, and even more so forcing the young ones not to waste the vegetables or broth. We found a hole in the wall, and it turns out rats have dug into our food stash and ravaged most of our crate. There's only less than half of the food we expected to find remaining. It won't last long. May God have mercy on us. Jake got the chills, but he was so intoxicated by the secrets that he appeared to be unlocking. He didn't even bother to post any more details online. Instead, he dug even deeper. Another note was found. Curse the day they attacked. Those damn commies. As their evil empire dissolved, they launched an all-out assault on the free world. It's getting harder to function on the little food that we've been eating. The kids have bags under their eyes from the lack of sleep. There's nothing to do all day, but we can't go outside because the air is poisonous. Jake kept exploring the bunker, only managing to find one more note. This last tattered piece read as such: December 1991. They wouldn't wake up. I shook them and slapped their faces, but they were cold, and their pulses were gone. Curse the day that they brought death upon us all. Damn their leaders to hell. I'm digging 2 shallow graves outside tonight. I won't make it back. I'll be too sick by the time I'm finished, but I can't bear to see them like this. Forgive me, Cassandra. What the hell, thought Jake. He climbed outside of the bunker and exited the abandoned building. Jake made his way directly to the garden, looking for the shallow graves that the note mentioned. His finding was the chilling discovery of a skeleton laying by a shovel, near with 2 small mounds of dirt. Was this small bundle of pixels supposed to represent one of this outdated video game designers and their dead family? An uncanny thought. Inside the house, Jake checked every corner and every angle, and eventually he found what appeared to be a very pixelated broken computer. He hit the activation key, and one last note appeared, chilling the blood in Jake's veins as he read it. September 1991. We did it! Thanks to the US government, we can all join the Virtual Reality World project. Now that it has finally been completed, everyone will live and feel as if the simulation is real, and we can all experience the world as it was before it was rendered uninhabitable. They'll forget everything about their past lives, and thanks to the state-of-the-art technology at work, we can all restart. I've got to tell Cassie. She'll love the great news. I just hope that we live long enough to make it to the other side.